I threw my USB cord at my TV, like just kind of lightly, and it fucking hit the screen and it flashed for a second.
Why? Seems like one of those dumber things you do.
Well, you want to know what the dumbest thing I've ever done is? Revival, a Dungeons & Dragons real play podcast.
That's the transition we're going with? All right.
The other dumbest thing I've done is probably summon this pig that wasn't supposed to be here.
You
It was
think?
not. Also, please use the proper term of hog.
Don't do this again.
Wild hogs!
How long has
It's
it been?
like legit multiple weeks.
'Cause I feel like this just happened. This joke is exactly as terrible as it was then.
No, you
Right?
don't understand
I
wild
don't.
hogs.
We're fighting the Queen Hog.
I love our ability
You don't know how amusing I find this.
to latch on to garbage memes. But anyway, I'm significantly more sleep deprived than I was the last time, so somebody else give the recap.
So everyone but Jerry fucked up this time. And Jerry's upset. And
Go on.
I think we were about to start a skills challenge with however many successes and no failures. And yeah. I
Let's
don't
go
think we
with-
rolled initiative either.
Let's go with 10 and 4 because 10-4, good buddy. I don't fucking know.
Wow, really? You really phoned that one in. Go for it.
I know, right? Oh snap! I dropped the P on the floor, like a frozen one. But anyway, roll initiative.
I got 14.
18.
12.
I got a 2. And with
Total?
my so 11
No, you have
in
initiative bonus, dingus.
Yeah. Wait, yeah, I was about to say.
You know you
11?
literally can't roll a 2, right?
No, you meant a 2 on the dice, but I was about to say I'm pretty sure you took like several feats that up your initiative, like multiple.
Oh, listen to that dice crunch ASMR.
Dice crunch? Ew.
Yeah.
Ew.
What else do you call it? Dice rattle?
Yeah.
Just like dice noise.
No, it's like a crunch.
It's not.
Get
I
that
want-
dice crunch.
See, that's what I'm
So-
talking about.
There may be a slight discrepancy from the ending of the last episode to the start of this one, and that's because we broke for, a whole month or something. The biggest of hogs had been summoned.
John Travolta?
And yes. Only like one person is going to get this reference, but to that one person it's gonna be like, hey.
That one guy's gonna be like, oh, hell yeah, wild hogs.
So
Leave your best wild hog comment in the comments below.
Like, favorite, and wild hog.
That was surprisingly good, Ted.
I've had a month to practice.
So anyway, first up is going to be Elias. So if you recall, I'm literally just now recalling. You remember how they had all those pits?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had the tunnels and stuff with that were filled in with like debris.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the plan was going to be that you guys gotta weaken it somehow doing that and then do a thing.
Yep.
So you're trying to lead it into these traps in classic Zelda boss fashion.
Yeah. All right, so if I look around, what do I see? We're on top of the building, so what do my
Correct.
elf eyes see in terms of like paths that I can take?
In terms of paths that you can take, it depends on what you're trying to do.
I'm looking for like paths that would split it to like max two or three choices for turns to make. So if I chase it down an alley, it doesn't have like a whole bunch of switchbacks. It's got like 2 or 3 choices for it to run down. I want to try.
Are we chasing it then?
I mean, it's rampaging around.
rampaging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and
It's-
get its attention, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to try to actively make yourself the bait.
Yeah. I feel like if anybody's gonna be like the bait, it's definitely got to be me.
So what skill are you using for that, and how are you flavoring that? How are you justifying it?
Well, we're standing on top of the roof. It's not exactly my forte in terms of like nature stuff, so I'm just going to use perception to see
because it's not natural.
Yeah, I'm going to use perception to see if there's a decent route that I can take.
Okay. I'm sleep deprived, but still, the things that you're talking about they don't follow for me. So are you trying to find a good spot to place yourself so that, like, are you trying to anticipate its moves so you can get out in front of it and grab its attention?
Yeah, basically.
Okay, that's what I thought, but you hadn't actually explicitly said that.
No, yeah, I said I was going to be the bait.
Right, but then you just said, I'm going to see if I can find a nice route, and then...
Yeah, to be the bait is the...
Right, so you're trying to predict where it's going to go, right?
Correct.
Makes sense to me.
All right, roll in perception. That will be a 28 as it dings off of my delicious
28.
Monster brand energy.
I've got a gigantic one of those, like the ones that make you, that when you drink all of it, you feel like you're going to die?
Yeah, the heart palpitations, that's how you know it's working.
I have like 3 of those on my desk. No, 4 of those on my desk right now.
You're all casuals. I have literally 3 garbage bags of Monster Energy cans saved for a project I lost all the notes on today.
Ted, I literally don't know. Like, I know that you're telling the truth on this one, but it sounds like you're doing a bit.
I did put them all through the washing machine to make sure that they were clean so we would not get bugs.
Through the
That's a Homestuck
washing
reference. That's got to be a fucking Homestuck reference right there.
It's not a Homestuck reference. I guarantee you this.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Hmm.
But anyway, that's a success. So, this thing just, it's crashing into buildings, it's freaking out, and it's latching onto any sort of movement. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's chasing down some of the smaller hogs. There's a small contingent of gnolls, including that shaman that you guys saw that was like helping out.
Yeah.
He ducked and it tried to chase after them, but he seems to have escaped in some sort of tunnel structure that they've got, presumably for just such an occasion.
Yeah.
So what you see is that it crashes through a building, gets back onto the main thoroughfare, and is flitting back and forth, like looking actively for things, which gives you the opening to jump down and get in front of it.
Right. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna do that. And as I jump down, I'm gonna shoot a glance back towards Patton and basically start using our wireless communication to feed him information about where I'm trying to go. So I want Patton to like give me like a bird's eye view of the surroundings.
How dare you? How dare you make that joke?
Has no one made a bird's eye view joke yet? I feel like no one's done that.
No one's done it.
I have.
No, I don't think you have. I don't think you have.
I'm taking that one. That's
You've
my
made
voice.
surprisingly few bird jokes regarding Patton.
Bird up.
My hollow bones.
Anyway, yeah, that works. So you guys see Elias jump down. Specky, jumps on your back and puffs up to make you a bigger target. Starts emitting a little bit of light.
Like
a little bit of bioluminescence.
Little glow shroom.
Yeah, like a little glow shroom on your back and starts wiggling.
Has Specky done this before? I legit don't remember if Specky has done bioluminescence.
I don't think so, but it can.
Elias is genuinely surprised by this fact.
Hasn't needed to so far.
Meow. Or actually, that would be more like a meow.
Yeah. Of course I can. Anyway, the thing has firmly locked on to Elias and is doing that thing where, it's like, it's pawing at the ground, setting up for a charge.
Yeah, like when John Travolta sees a sandwich.
Yeah. Like in real life.
This is going to keep happening.
Listen, if I can't make Homestuck jokes, you guys can't make Wild Hog jokes.
Bullshit.
I'll take you already make them. We just don't know when you do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Honestly, though, that sounds more like Gary Busey behavior.
God damn it. Can we keep playing D&D and not China, Illinois?
What? No, that was a reference to some Red Letter Media shit. Quigley. The movie
right.
where Gary Busey is a dog.
Let's continue.
Anyway, next up, Jerron.
All right. So it's me, John, and Patton on the roof right now, correct?
Yes, unless at some point at the end of the last episode you had declared that you had jumped onto the thing, which I genuinely don't remember if you did or not.
Let's just say I did.
Sure.
And I'm going to communicate to John through our little USB thing that I'm going to get my chain around it, so he's going to be able to steer this, but I'm not going to be the one like steering this.
Yeah.
All right.
And character knowledge check. Would I have any idea if I could like dominate this thing at all?
If you could, that would kind of invalidate the skills challenge, but if your goal is to do that, you wouldn't be able to do it immediately, and it's not necessarily something that you're well practiced in. If you want to try to, because this is, an aberrant, like, pseudo-undead thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to attempt to do such a thing, one, it's going to need to be significantly more damaged than it currently is. It's going to need to be weakened in some way, shape, or form. And two, it's going to take a while.
It's like catching Pokemon.
Yeah, actually.
Jesus.
So if you want that to be like the thing that you're trying to do, then yeah, sure, you can absolutely do that. But it's going to have to be, your deal for this one.
Okay.
So things that you're going to need for this are it to be significantly weakened physically, and time to figure out how it works, how the mana circuitry and everything works, and how you can rewire it. Basically, you're doing essentially a hacking minigame. So in your heads-up display, you see a pipe dream, just like every AAA fucking video game ever. Why is it always pipe dream? I'm looking at you, new Spider-Man game.
It's a series of tubes.
Hacking minigame. Tubes. Why?
All right. Okay, so what I'm going to try and do here is first I'm going to try and like loop my chain around this thing's mouth. Sort of like a little bridle,
Yeah.
And then I'm going to use my gloves and use my lightning effect to like sort of like be a makeshift shock collar,
Yeah, keep him looking at Elias, because Elias is working as the bait right now.
Yeah.
If he starts getting distracted, zapping him, pulling him back in.
Yeah.
All right, I like it.
And for that, I would be doing Arcana.
Correct.
Okay. Let me get a good rolling surface here. That is a... That's good. That's a 20... No, that's a 30, actually.
Goddamn.
30?
Yep.
That's a success. So you see, you jump off and in one fell swoop, you wrap the chain around it, doing the full-on Indiana Jones swing. You get the chain around its neck, swing under its chin, land up on top of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
As part of the previous motion. And then, you send the lightning down the chain, and it sees red, like literally. You see its eyes start to glow as it immediately triggers that charge that it was holding up, and it starts running with incredible speed directly at Elias.
Actually, animals don't see red like that, and bulls aren't attracted to red, and I'm pretty sure wild hogs aren't either.
No, I mean, I meant that it's literally its eyes turned red. They started glowing.
Well, I wasn't paying attention to anything you were saying.
That's not seeing
And that's
red.
fair enough.
Elias monologue to the sky. All right, so I'm going to yell
I'm
for
sleep
John.
deprived and propped up on caffeine. What do you want from me?
Me too.
All right, John, you've been fixing up that motorcycle for a long time. You better go get it.
Okay. Guess I'm riding a motorcycle.
Next up, John, are you riding a motorcycle?
I mean, I'm going for it.
All right,
So the other
what are
one
you
left on the
attempting to do?
rooftop
So-
now is pretty much Patton sitting there, right?
So
Everyone
you're
else is
attempting to
bolted in
chase
different
down a-
directions.
Yeah,
So
I'm-
you're attempting to chase down a wild hog on your wild hog.
yeah, I'm going to run down to my motorcycle, and I'm going to try and catch up.
Here.
I'm sorry?
I said there's layers here. It's wild hogs versus wild hogs.
Oh,
Thank
like
you,
an
Michael.
onion.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, I'm going to try and catch up with the hog and then get up onto its back with Jerry.
Okay, I'm gonna... That sounds a little bit too
Athletics?
much like exactly what Jerron is doing. And what would that actually accomplish, right? You can. I'm just wondering what your goal.
Am I
is.
misimagining the scale of this thing? How big was it?
Big.
Roughly building sized. Like its back was level with the rooftop of the building you were on.
Like you would have to.
It's like 18 feet tall.
You would have to stand on your seat, do a super orc jump, and pretty much say goodbye to the motorcycle.
Probably not. Also, you'd
Now-
pretty much wreck your motorcycle in the process.
Now, John, what you could do is what I'm thinking of doing is that we're going to have to run this guy through a lot of obstacles to tire him down enough that Jerry can do what he wants to do.
Yeah,
Use your lasso to trip him.
Does John have a lasso?
John has a lasso.
So to set the scene, right? To set the scene, to the best of my understanding, this is the plan, quote unquote, right? Jerron is trying to pacify it, right? So that you don't have to, actively fight it. Elias is working as the bait and is running around to lead it down the path to crash into some of these barricades, which will weaken it. Your goal is to run it through enough barricades to the point where Jerron can then pacify it. So what would John and Patton be doing as part of that strategy?
So what I was thinking of doing is that swine run in is it packs? I don't think it's packs. No, it's passels. That's right. Passels of swine and hogs.
Why
and
do
shit.
you know that?
Listen, I don't know it. Someone else in here does.
What?
What? No, because it's Pat and get it because we're in character.
Oh.
See, we're having fun. Anyway, so what I'm thinking is there's
Call
a
us
lot
Legion,
of
for we
these.
are many.
There's a lot of these pigs here. And what I was thinking is that John and I could work to corral them into one horde to push this larger hog along. Because once it becomes part of a pack, they keep going in one direction. If we keep hurting them, put them through each one of these barriers across this town.
Actually, as you can, what you can tell is that it does like emit a cry, and you start to hear more like come across. Like it is absolutely summoning the herd.
Sick.
All right, so yeah.
So what we
But
could do,
that's actually a problem because one, that's a distraction for it, and two, they're actively attempting to, get Jerron off of this thing's back and to take down Elias. You can see them starting to come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I'm going to start trying to corral these hogs and then try and stop them from interfering with our thing. Try to keep them away from the
John's
big hog.
running interference.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead
Okay.
of bringing the pigs to these other ones together, John and I can work on keeping them away so
From
that
the big
Jerry and
pig.
Elias can get the big boy down.
Okay. Yeah, that
makes
works.
sense.
I just wanted to make sure that there was a coherence, that everybody was on the same page, so that people weren't inadvertently stopping each other from doing the cool thing that they were trying to do.
Yeah, I probably misunderstood Jerry. I thought he wanted me up there to help him wrangle the hog.
I thought about that at first, but it like in retrospect, it probably just wouldn't make too much sense because Jerry would then just be sitting there.
Right.
Okay.
I thought that you were up there specifically because, you need to be on it to figure out how to stop it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
And-
sleep-deprived DM.
Can I roll athletics?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not
This sounds
sure
like
how
athletics to me
how
for-
driving works for the skills. So
For skills, if you're trying to do something like doing sick, fast maneuvers with your big heavy bike, sounds like athletics to me.
all right, 27.
27, that's a success. So you manage to do a quick vault off of the building. Okay, so John leaps off of the roof, whips open the garage door, fires up the motorcycle, and peels out onto the tarmac. What you can see is the hogs start flying out of the alleyways, some occasionally being picked off by random spears and arrows. As you can see, Noel's sort of running interference for you guys, trying to stop them from joining up. One thing that you notice immediately is you see one of these hogs jump and land like on the leg of this big thing, and it kind of latches on.
Oh no!
Dissolves almost.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
And its leg just, like its back right leg just gets larger and more defined, because you saw, remember, it was kind of like a shell.
Mm-hmm.
So the material from this one is building this thing larger.
Not everything has to be a hive mind.
It isn't. So Elias immediately notices the thing. These one's eyes are also red. They aren't a hive mind. They're being dominated.
Guys, this thing, it's getting larger. Might want to deal with
this
that.
thing, it isn't a king. It's like it's actively consuming the other ones.
It's a tyrant hog.
Yes. So you also notice as you peel off, there's one that jumps from a rooftop and it's going straight for Jerron. But you get a good angle on it, and if you would so desire, you can pick it off with your revolver in a cool, quick shot as you peel out, right behind the thing.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
I've actually got a length of chain on my bike for just this occasion.
So yeah, Jerron, you see a hog, jump right for your throat, and then immediately get taken down by a revolver shot. As you see John on his sick-ass motorcycle taking up the rear.
Jerry's going to look back and get a sly grin. Not shooting good, buddy. Yeehaw!
Oh,
John is pissed now.
This makes John angrier.
Don't appropriate John's culture.
First off, he thinks that he's lying to him about not speaking Noel, and now he's making fun of him for being cool.
Yeah, what the hell?
All right, next up, Patton.
Okay, so Patton's on the rooftop still, and now here's the thing I want to check. So now the Patton's home there, back there in like the Great Plains, all the rest of the bird people or beeple, the architecture around there was modified by the people living there, for roofs, upper floors to actually support flying person-sized creatures. And so what I want to do is I want to see, using history, because history is weird, so I think this falls under history, based on architecture and basically how we would make these set up in the hometown. If I can find good spots here on these buildings to use the Dr. Patton's Patman gargoyle grappler to find good stable spots on these crumbling roofs to get me a better position.
Yeah, absolutely. That is actually a fantastic use of history.
See, I got it eventually, except I dropped my D20.
That's actually an excellent
Could you
use
stop
of history.
losing your fucking dice?
This is exactly what you were supposed to use it for. So you can see that there are points on these various buildings that are, hard points or like things that have been actively supported, because similar to your people, the Gnolls put up scouts and things on the rooftops, up on ridges or, they seem to have, points where they can actually grapple up onto to scale the rooftops quickly.
Grapple, grapple, grapple.
Yeah.
And you can actually see, there's some ropes that are left over. There's a couple of grappling hooks that are still attached to these points. And so you can tell that those are likely to be stable because, most of the buildings are burnt out as a result of the, rampant fires from the catastrophe. So that's a fantastic usage of history if you're trying to follow the crowd by zipping around using your cool-ass grappling hook. Excellent. What, it only took you guys literally a year and a half?
Okay, so I rolled a 27 in total.
That's going to do it. So what exactly are you trying to accomplish by doing this?
So by getting a higher vantage point, and one that's higher up and that I'm able to keep moving, I'm keeping an eye on these incoming hordes of hogs.
How?
And also keeping an eye, basically keeping visions of everyone here, because Elias wanted the optics to make sure he doesn't get fucking gored by a giant pig.
I mean, true.
John needs to know where we're going to go to keep them cordoned off. So, and basically I'm working optics, right? For right now. I'm
so the rest
some
of
other
you guys
stuff
are going
later
to
on.
see, your vision is going to get augmented here as you're going to see outlines of tagged creatures, the hogs, through the walls, and you can see where the hordes are congregating and where they're moving. Elias gets a little sat-nav indicator of where to turn and a glowing path to follow, and John gets targets that are marked as being, like a color-coded system of things that are getting close to the high priority, mid priority, low priority targets for him to shoot as he's driving along.
I want a little overlay in the bottom that says imminent hog counter and has a little cartoon picture of a hog next with a number next to it.
I would imagine Patton would probably spend the time to do something like that.
Hogs imminent. It's a little cartoon picture of John Travolta.
Yes.
See, I'm chuckling to myself because the infographic I have in mind looks exactly like the one used to track the meteors in Homestuck, but you guys don't know that.
God damn it, Tad. Why is that a thing?
I was imagining the HUD from the fake, V shooter, the underwater timed escort mission.
Yes.
It's about as obnoxious.
Yeah.
I know, I think that's top of the round.
A little squawking Patton yelling out orders.
When his little face speaks, it does like the gruntilda, the wah, 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 crow sounds.
God, it fucking would too.
It would.
A big obnoxious overlay that covers your entire vision with Patton says.
Brah, 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 brah. Move forward to progress vertically.
So, top of the round, due to all of those successes, you guys ever remember playing any of those, on-rails shooters, right?
Yeah.
In the arcade? This is the point where you cleared the little, action command sequence and the little cutscene plays out. So,
hell yeah.
When you're playing the Jurassic Park one and you shoot the Brontosaurus's feet and you don't get stomped? Clear! So, Elias darts down an alleyway, making a series of tight turns, while Jerron, hangs onto the thing, occasionally falling off, but grappling himself back on with the chain, alternating between shocking the thing and giving it, positive reinforcement for going down the right way, as John is just picking off the little ones and preventing any of them from getting onto the big guy. You come down to one of the dips in the highway where the gnolls have the trap set up, and you see in the buildings on either side, they're ready with some buckets, it looks like, and as you guys pass, they ignite it, and it's some sort of flaming napalm that sets the entire barrier alight. Elias, I would imagine, does some sick parkour up on top of the divider. The thing crashes through, and he jumps back down in front of the thing as you see it's now cut up and half on fire after running through a series of broken cars, broken glass, and other debris. And any of the smaller, normal hogs that get caught in that just immediately catch fire and start flopping over.
Oh, fuck.
So.
But it's crashed through the barrier, right?
It's crashed through the barrier, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna take a page.
Stopped, but it was damaged.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a page from Fate here and see if the system. And
yeah.
And since it's top of the round and it's my turn, I want to propose that we didn't expect for it to crash through the barrier. We kind of expected it to get stuck on the barrier. So I'm going to say that behind the barrier is basically a dead end.
Ooh, okay.
And what I want to do is this thing's going to start charging me. And I want to do, that scene in Lord of the Rings where
he slides under?
Yeah, when they're fighting the Oliphants and they go underneath one and hit the Achilles tendons. Basically, I want to, as it starts charging at me, I want to slide under and see if I can cut one of its legs, Achilles tendon, as we flip it back around to get it back on track.
Okay, sick. I was imagining more of like, what was that? Was it like Hong Kong Hustle or one of the like Jackie Chan movies where there's a car driving into the dead end and he's the sick parkour jump over the thing?
Yeah, but I want to go. Similar. I want to slide underneath it because we're trying to slow this thing down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use acrobatics for that. I feel like that's legit.
Yes. Fingerless glove meter. Yes, Tim, this was the image that I was talking about.
That is a 23.
23?
Yeah.
Just barely.
Yeah, I figured it was pretty close there.
Boom. So, you manage to go under and get a good whack. Get a good cut with one of your good knives.
Yeah.
On one of its legs. At which point you see you manage to catch the pig that had like sort of grafted itself onto the thing, and it falls off. Like it wasn't like entirely connected. But you see that that similar to the big zombie hog, now this one is clearly should be dead. Like its chest cavity is just busted open and it's really gnarly, but it just gets back up and charges at you.
Oh shit.
And these ones have the red eyes still, right?
Yeah. So basically it looks like even if you take the big one down, you're still going to have to deal with the little ones.
Okay.
In some way. Like, damaging it directly, like, isn't a good idea necessarily. Like, if you're gonna, you can't do like precision cuts on the thing.
Right. So, if that's the case, I'm going to take that slide and then sort of crash into that one smaller pig, stumble, and then start running again as I grab Specky and make sure it's got a good grip on my back.
Yeah, Specky's fine.
Wow.
So, next up, Jerron. You can tell that as like a lot of the fur starts to burn off, you can see that a lot of the muscle fibers and really the things holding this thing together are actually just straight up pure mana.
Ooh.
Like, this thing is basically a construct.
Okay. On that...
Meaning you can directly manipulate it.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take one hand off the chain, and on the glove that's holding the chain, just to make sure I don't lose it, I'm going to freeze it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to stick one hand deep inside the muscle fire and just grab it directly.
Sick.
And on this, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try...
You used Arcana before, so how are you going to attempt to wrestle control?
Probably... There is, like... I'm trying to think of a way to, like, through the muscles, activate, like, a shock response. but
Mhm.
that can't be intimidate or bluff.
I could see you being able to use intimidate here if you're trying to actively gain control.
Okay. All right, then yeah.
Because you've seen that this thing operates. So what you can tell just by looking at the thing is that it's not making a symbiotic relationship with these with the like little thrall things. It's an explicit domination.
All right. Then yeah, we're gonna give this a try.
So if you try to set yourself up as the Queen Hog, that would work.
Jerry is the
potentially.
Queen Hog.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna see Jerry's eyes start to glow red. Pretty much the same tint as the hog. He's just gonna dive in there and just pull up on that muscle fiber just a bit,
Mhm.
and you're gonna see
Mhm.
some of the veins in the jacket start to connect with it on some like kill like kill kind of shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a 26.
26, that's a success. So you the rest of you guys are gonna you're gonna see that Jerron's gonna rip the muscle fiber up, and you're going to see the sort of the phantasmal image of an even gnarlier hog
Oh, fuck.
sort of overwhelm Jerron's form.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to roar and then subside back into him as he's now glowing and sort of matched pace with this thing, and it is it's definitely less like erratic.
And if I want to
Easier
start
to
doing
predict.
like a mana siphon, can I do that next round or can I do it this round?
Yes, however, as a result of doing this though, you can definitely see that it's also there's a struggle here. There's a struggle going on here where it's two-way street. It's starting to get more docile, but Jerron is starting to flip out. Like, his mouth kind of swings open. He starts like gnashing his teeth, right?
It's a big hog.
I'm getting real
Right.
into it.
Yeah, you're kind of freaking out. As you yourself, Jerron, your conscious self is kind of diving into this struggle here. And what you see is basically it's you and this thing. And it's you're staring each other down, and it seems like you're fairly evenly matched. But the outside, all of your other senses are just gone right now, and it's just you and the thing in this direct conflict.
Kind of
Some
like in our own
full-on-
dimension.
Yeah, full on, Gandalf going crazy with the
With the Balrog.
Balrog.
Actually,
Shut up, Michael.
that all took place in Middle Earth.
I know, but I'm saying that as in they get separated from the rest of the party and are doing their own struggle,
Fine.
like, while they're free falling.
He'll
Right?
allow it this time.
I know that it doesn't happen on a different plane of existence. I'm talking about the isolation and the direct power struggle.
It's a
There's no
metaphor.
environment to take advantage of.
I'll-
It is just
I'll allow it, but only because you explained yourself.
so that's what it's like. It's like you're in a free fall and you're both struggling to land on the other, right? You get the imminent sense that one of you is going to be destroyed, but you need to make sure that you're the one on top.
Sick.
So, next up, John.
Okay. My plan is to AT-AT the giant hog.
Yes. Hog
Hell
tie the
yeah.
hog.
I've got my length of chain with a bit of barbed wire I probably borrowed from one of the party members previously because that's like the group theme.
Hey,
And-
where'd the barbed wire go on this battery?
Yeah, so I'm gonna zip past the giant hog and kind of stick my chain into its back leg and then drive in circles around it. And then I'm
Alright.
gonna drive directly for an
Oh.
attempt to pull off its leg together and trip it.
What skill are you going to be using for that?
On use endurance.
Endurance, Okay, so how exactly is this endurance?
It's as much
He has to hold on to
yeah,
the
me
thing.
driving as it is me
Okay.
like holding the chain and like pulling over the hog.
Yeah,
Okay,
this hog's
yeah,
running
I can
the
feel
whole
it.
time, pulling
Well,
on
like
the chains.
the second that he goes in front of it as it's charging forward, he has to hold on to the chain. So
Yeah. Okay, I see it.
Okay.
I see it. So to set the stage, you guys are still like leading it towards another one of these barricades that Patton has flagged.
Yeah.
But if you want to have it crash into the thing and then, like trip it right as it's about to go into the thing, so it just slams into it and wipes out, you can definitely go for setting that up.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. I got a 23.
23 total?
Yeah.
That's a success, just barely. You guys keep
23
hitting
on the die.
The exact number.
Nice.
Wait, 23 on the... What D... Are you rolling a D30? What the
You
fuck?
asked me if it was a total. I don't know what else it would be.
Did I say
Gotcha there.
23 total? I mean,
Tim does have a
just say that-
22-sided die, and it infuriates me.
Look, man, I just say that as a reflex to every single roll that you guys ever make, because, like, a solid 10% of the time you guys go, oh, I forgot to add my modifier. What's the modifier for my attack roll again? And that does a D12 plus 4, right? No, it's
Stop
plus
making
5. You
fun
have to
of
add
us.
in your weapon modifier. I will continue
We're
to make
being
fun
good
of you
boys
guys.
today. Well, except Tad.
Yes. We are all being fine. The Wild Hog references are completely reasonable. The Homestuck references are where we draw the line.
Ooh, man. I got a real fucking banger set up for the future that I'm going to drop on you guys.
I hate this. So,
this is
Anyway.
why we keep making Wild Hog references, Tad.
anyway, you're going to get the chains around this thing's legs, and you've got it primed that you can trip it basically whenever you want. However, in getting in front of this and in holding onto this, you're not able to shoot any of the smaller ones that are just starting to swarm around you. So you are getting, like, occasionally, like, hit with some tusks or getting some bites on your legs and things, but you're just powering right through it. So, next up is Patton.
All right, so now, John, did he actually successfully trip this guy?
You've got it set up so that he can set up to trip it whenever he wants. So, like, if you wanted to just trip it in the middle of the street, you can. But as far as doing a whole team thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is more like a while he's doing that, right?
Yeah,
To
so
give you time
when
to,
I
to
trip
set
him,
up for,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so that you can give it an alley-oop so that it isn't just the thing trips and then everybody swarms up and starts punching its face in. So you can set up for, like, a climactic finish, right? One of the conditions to take it down has been met, right?
I think we drove past the town square, like in the middle of here. Because
Yeah,
we're in
yeah.
Albuquerque, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't want us to take this down in a position where we're going to get swarmed by these other piggies that are coming in here.
Correct.
Because there's a lot of them on the way. So, now pigs, as far as I know, can't, like, scale buildings, so they're pretty much
Tad?
land-bound.
Tad, these are not
They-
pigs.
Shut
They're
up. I will
hogs.
leave you to die, Michael.
Also, they can't scale buildings, but they're very adept at scrambling over rubble, which is basically what this is. There's plenty of buildings where the second floor has, fallen out, and now there's just easy ramps up onto higher access points.
All right, so while I'm swinging up here, I'm trying to find a good spot where there's pretty much only one or two ways where these pigs are going to swarm us over, because it's going to take a little bit of time to actually take this pig down. So what I want to do is I want to direct, this is a good spot, here's the meeting point. And while that's going on, I'm going to be sending off, because John's a little preoccupied, he's not actively pushing these pigs away right now.
Yeah.
But Patton is going to be shooting out some patent pending swine sounders, where they're the bolts that hit, and then put out a super high-pitched whine that discouraged them from going in that direction. I'm going to be putting those to kind of clear a path for us as we get to this meeting spot.
I like it.
And that's going to be perception to find this area.
Okay.
That is literally a 1.
Nat 1?
Yep.
Would you like to re-roll that, or are you going to?
No, he doesn't
take that.
He's gonna build hog attracting sounds.
Does he not have an action point?
No. We used those in the last fight.
Yep.
Didn't you get a full? But you got a full rest, right?
No, we were interrupted.
Oh no,
in the
you
middle
didn't
of the
because you
night.
got interrupted. You're right, Michael. Thank you for rules ring.
It makes it better if he
Yikes.
can't re-roll.
So I get a real good feeling I did not choose a good spot.
Well, no, it's worse than that. So you fire off these.
Jesus. Okay, hold on 1 second. That's the worst phrase that a DM can ever use.
It's
no,
worse than
actually,
that.
it's worse than that.
Well, I had a thing.
So your character is dead. No, actually, it's worse than that.
Yeah. So you fire off these bolts that make this little high pitched whine, and you immediately notice that the second you fire one of these off, it gets impaled with a spear. And you see a gnoll look up at you as, more of them, you start firing off more of them. Like, before you even notice, you see this thing just look up at you, like, with pleading, scared eyes. Like you've just done the worst thing imaginable.
I probably did. Twice in a row.
Like that you killed one of these pigs?
No, he fired off some bolts that make like a very loud, high-pitched whine.
Oh.
And what you hear is, as these things go, you fire off 4 of these bolts, to discourage things, and then you hear, in the distance, the call gets answered.
Oh, fuck, I should have chose a different sound.
He summoned more Hogs.
Yeah.
I like this trend.
So what you hear is that these things start it from your edge, from Elias's, what Elias can tell immediately is the sound that you put out sounds exactly like a piglet scream.
Oh no, that's gonna call the big Hogs.
Yeah, you just had to deal with the things in the immediate.
Scream.ogg was. Should have chose a different sound effect for these.
Yeah, so you only had to deal with the things that were in the immediate area and are getting dominated. Now, I don't know if you know this, but in the South, Michael, you know about this. How large are these herds typically?
Oh dear God. Anybody who lives like in the South and knows anything about actual wild hogs will tell you that these fuckers roam in packs of like 40 to 50, and the big ones can be the size of like fucking trucks, basically. They're huge.
Yeah, they're the size of like a small tractor or whatever.
They're big.
There's a
Basically,
reason why medieval like shields and shit would have hogs on them.
Yeah, you basically got an incoming hog apocalypse.
Okay.
You see the gnolls disperse very quickly and take up position on some of these high points, and you can just hear the hoofbeats in the distance.
I don't like this.
And Patton notices, you can see that you see off in the distance another, like, a building sort of collapse. And you see something that looks not dissimilar to the thing you're currently fighting crash through. But it's like a normal
second hog.
Oh God, it's another one.
Except this one's eyes aren't freaked out. And so, putting 2 and 2 together, you can immediately tell, oh, this is one of those things that they made this, the protection ward out of.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them.
More than that.
Patton, what did you do?
Several more than that. It looks like these are the alphas.
The king and queen hog.
Yeah, oh damn. Yeah, Matt just posted a picture of like a wildlife thing, like one of these things. Yeah, just there's a lot of those.
Literally as big as SUVs.
Very cool.
Yeah, but you put out the sound and it was very loud. So this is like all of the disparate herds are moving in force. So yeah, this is about to get bad.
Fantastic. All right, good luck, Jerry.
Jerry can't hear you.
Yes, he can.
Whoops.
That was out of
maybe he
character.
can't,
Pat
actually.
wouldn't say that.
No, I'm in another
Yeah,
dimension.
he's in the Hogosphere.
Okay, so why is Jerry always going off to these different... Why is he in the Jerryverse and now the Hogosphere?
Because someone decided to summon the Queen Hog.
I blame Jerry for this.
Top of the round, Elias, you see the barrier that you guys need to crash into directly in front of you. You quickly, can get out of the way to set up the bullfighting sort of dodge out of the way. John trips the thing. It goes careening into the barricade, which of course was set on fire yet again. And you hear it just rumbling. It's in the tunnel now, like underneath this bridge overpass.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the eyes have changed from red to like this sort of bluish green.
Mm-hmm.
As it walks out, and Jerron is just like looking up at the sky, kind of like mouth agape. His jacket is slightly on fire. This thing is on fire, but it looks like he's more or less in control.
Well, you know what that calls for, Specky? Stealth mode. We're getting out of here. I'm going to tell Specky that we're going to start running dark because there is no way I'm going to be able to dodge this many hogs as they come in. So I'm going to try and basically have Specky shine super bright for a second to flare and then go dark as we slip away, hopefully into like a back alley or something so I can regroup and get on top of one of the buildings.
Okay, sounds like
stealth.
Sounds like a stealth check to me. Whoo boy.
Ooh, that's not good. That's 20.
20?
Yeah.
That's not a success. Do you have an action point?
Hell no.
Fantastic. So you duck out through a back alley,
Yeah.
right? You break out onto the main thoroughfare, and you just are face to face with one of these gigantic ones.
Oh fuck.
You see it stops, stamps its feet, lets out a big howl, and just grabs you with its front tusks and flings you into the air behind it.
All right. I suppose I'll be in midair for my next turn, so I'll have to think about what I'm gonna do here.
Yeah, you get massively caught off guard as you see, as you're flipping through the air, you see it just runs and crashes into another, like, smaller hog swarm, like, from a neighboring pack, and it just starts flipping those and, like, goring them, throwing them off to the side. It doesn't look like they're a cohesive unit. This is just, like...
A stampede.
Yeah, this is a stampede, and these are all, like, opposing herds.
A hog.
You could say they're going hog wild.
I've got a really
Correct.
good bad idea.
That sounds like a great segue for Jerron.
That's everything Jerron ever does.
Hey
Yes.
I've got a really good bad idea.
now, so far, I'm doing the best in this skills challenge.
Can't wait to see how you ruin that.
I'm currently winning D&D. Thank you very much.
All right. So, I'm in freefall, or are we like just one-on-one in a dimension?
So, yeah, it's less of a physical struggle and more of like it's more like positioning, right? And you jump back, into your own eyes as you manage to grab control right as it slams into the barrier. And you can see out of your eyes and its eyes. However, you also have a lot of extra information running through your head, right?
Okay.
Namely, you can feel the presence of these other, colossal ones, and the instinct that just keeps like pounding in your mind is challenge, authority.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
This is a struggle.
What I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try and abuse the cohesive unit and just absolutely fucking obliterate one of these colossal hogs.
All right, sick.
How
Okay.
many successes and failures are we at? We're at 2 failures and like
2 failures, 7
successes?
successes.
Oh, 7? Okay.
7.
All right. So what Jerry's going to do here is he's going to aim the queen hog through the most congested pack of tiny hogs and try and intercept a colossal hog mid-charge from the side.
Sick.
So in effect, for those listening at home, the queen hog is going to pick up every single tiny hog on the way. And
It is just a ball of force.
yes.
Sick.
All right, so this is going to be Arcana. Let's do it. This is going to be bad. It is bad.
How bad?
13.
Wait, what? You rolled a 2?
Yes.
I'm assuming you don't have an action point either.
I'm
He
going
might,
to say probably
I think.
not.
Okay. So, here's what's going to go down. You're going to charge through a bunch of
Have I
these
used
little
Dark
hogs.
One's Own Luck yet, though? Is it a new day?
You have not gotten a extended rest, no.
Okay.
And I believe you did use that before. I don't know, but no. Also,
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, for the purposes of skills challenges, I'm just gonna go not right now.
Okay.
So, because I thought of a good justification for why this didn't work, and I can't think of a reason why it would if you succeed, without breaking my own rules. Basically, I'm tired, so I can only think of one thing at a time. So you charge through a group of these things expecting them to stick on and increase the mass of your hog. They don't.
Unfortunate.
You just plow right through the things. They don't stick onto it.
Because it's coming from Jerry and not the actual source.
Correct. All Jerron has control of is this thing. He doesn't have control of the effect that was dominating the other hogs. That went away. So, Jerron crashes through a building, crashes into the side of the hog that flipped Elias. You gore it, flip it, it bites the thing's neck and snaps it. But you can feel that as it does that, you get kind of shunted back out of control.
Because it's getting bloodlust.
Yeah, it flips back to red and starts flickering. Sort of alternating between control of these two. And it starts acting real erratic. Next up, John.
Okay. So we got 2 bad things going on now.
Correct.
I think first thing first, I make sure Elias doesn't break his neck in the fall, and then get us back into whatever it is we can do to stop this thing from going even more to shit.
All right. Makes sense to me.
I'm going to drop the chain and I'm going to gun it towards where Elias is flying. I'm going to try to catch him or break his fall, ideally to get us both onto my motorcycle.
Sounds like athletics to me.
All right. It is a 24.
24?
Mhm. That makes it right.
That's a success.
Fuck yeah.
Phew.
So, Elias, you land directly behind John on this sick motorcycle.
Oh, hey, John.
Howdy.
Where exactly are you attempting to drive the thing after you catch him?
So with the whole Jerron hog thing, is Jerron still on the hog?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean,
it's on fire. He's kind of on fire. It's sort of ripping the throat out of a normal hog. But yeah,
I'm gonna try and get us to like a vantage point over this, so we aren't swarmed by rabid hogs, but we can still hopefully help Jerry not get gored.
Makes sense to me. Next up, Patton.
Okay.
How are you going to resolve this? How are you going to fix the herd
issue.
battle royale?
So there's
you rang the dinner bell.
There's a lot that's gone wrong. I will admit that.
Imagine the
Warriors.
Imagine the movie The Warriors, with all the different like street gangs, except they're all hogs.
You'll find the
really
coolest
nothing
hogs
like-
and team up with them.
So really nothing like the movie Warriors, but what I'm trying to get at is that there's multiple discrete hog groups and they're fighting.
Okay, now the ones that are, because right now, Jerry, Elias, and John are all at the same spot, right? They're all together.
Correct.
Okay. Now I am not there, and
Correct.
we need to get to a more safe location so we don't get overwhelmed by these hogs.
Well, you're at 8 successes. You have 1 failure left, so you do need to work towards solving the issue.
Yeah.
So you can now go for more big picture ideas of how are you going to get these things to leave, and how are you going to finish your earlier stated goal. Basically, how are you going to get these other groups to fuck off so that you can focus on your own strategy?
Very good idea.
I mean, you are all in direct communication, so you can just kind of fire it off in character right now.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Elias? Because I have an idea, but it's not a really big picture idea here for these individual groups.
Well, so I'm on John's motorcycle, but as with most of my good ideas, they involve Specky. So I see that that Jerron is dominating this one hog, or at least doing a pretty good job. So what I want to do is I want to toss Specky up to Jerron and have Specky send out like a shit ton of tendrils connecting Jerron to all the other big hogs so that he can spread the domination effect and sort of just tell them to all fuck off.
Okay, so connecting them to Jerron through Specky's tendrils.
Correct.
That can work. If so, directly speaking, the reason why Jerron and Elias would know this, the reason why Jerron can actually dominate the thing is because it's not actually alive.
Yeah.
These other ones are not the same thing. They are living natural beings.
Right, so that's why you use Specky as a conduit to just sort of
Right.
send
So
the
he's not
fuck
going to
off
be able
symbol.
to. He's not actually going to be able to control them, but you could emit like a, like a group illusion or a group sense of this thing is in control. Leave.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Now, right now, are these individual groups fighting with each other, or are they roaming?
Both.
Okay.
They're trying to go towards the source of the sound, but as they inevitably meet, as they crash into the same area, they start, squabbling and fighting.
Okay. Now,
So what I need Jerron to do is to tag the leader of every hog group.
Yeah, basically you just, to go with an anime reference, it's like you mark the bento boxes as 50% off, and all of the housewives are coming in and fighting over them.
Such
right?
a good fucking show.
It's also a thing that just happens in real life. Japanese housewives are brutal.
Brutal.
It's like a stampede of what can only be described as wild hogs.
Wild hogs.
okay. So the way that I can assist with this is marking the lead hog in each one of these different groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way,
Okay.
Specky. That way, I can send the message to Specky to put a main tendril to each of them, linking
And
back to Jerry.
you can totally do this setup because there's either you're going to fail or you're going to succeed on Elias's turn.
Correct.
Okay.
So this setup works just fine.
All right then. So
Because it's two
myself,
successes and it'll be top of the round for me.
myself and little bro are going to be kind of swooping around. Little bro on the opposite side of me, far off on the other side, so he can get those. We're going to be marking each one and hitting them with a larger crossbow bolt that ensures that it sticks out and it is visible and easily identifiable that this is the dude who got struck. I'm pinging each one of these guys with one of these long boys. The
Makes
long
sense to
boy
me.
bolts.
What skill are you using for that?
I used perception last time, right?
Yeah, so I mean, you do have Arcana available to you if you wanted to make, little heat-seeking bolts.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go with... Now, these leader ones, they usually have larger tusks, don't they?
Yes,
Elias
and
says
they're
yes.
also building sized.
Okay, so...
They're fucking
the
big.
regular ones are maybe like the big ones are like 7 feet long and like 3 feet at the shoulder. Like big wild hog. The clearly the designated leader one is as big as the one you're talking about. We're talking like 16 feet at the shoulder.
Okay, so while it may not be necessary, I'm still going to outfit these bolts with Dr. Patton's patent-pending ivory indicator, because they, after all, do have the
God.
largest amount.
How do you do that?
How does he do this?
I need you to.
Oh,
I
fuck.
need you to tag John
did you do?
Travolta,
Another
Tim
not one?
Allen, William H. Macy, Martin Lawrence, and Ray Liotta.
Each one of them has that name on there, but I did roll a fucking 2. So there's 14 in Arcana.
Are you
14
kidding me
Arcana?
right now?
Okay,
We
Are
failed
you
it.
kidding me right
We
now?
failed it. A
That's
skills challenge.
you failed the skills challenge.
Wow.
That's like the.
This hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
So, here's what's going to happen. You pissed them off.
we can set this up like as he was pinging each of them. I would have been sending Specky out immediately.
Yes. So, you throw Specky up towards Jerron in this fight, and you quickly see that like Specky grabs onto Jerron and starts sending out tendrils, and then the tendrils start wigging out as Specky starts flashing red and blue.
Oh no.
And you just kind of hear, "Meow," and he kind of like overloads, and you see a little pop as Specky flies off back towards you,
I catch
like
Specky.
all puffed up.
I catch Specky.
Specky starts like darting around, looking around,
Oh, I thought you Krillin Specky there for a second. I was like, damn.
No.
like punches Elias in the face with its paw, and starts like looking around, and then snaps back.
Oh no.
Specky looks very frightened.
I pet Specky gently.
So it looks like Specky was not prepared for that sort of raw energy.
Tim Allen was too much.
Yeah. Patton shoots each one of these things and marks them, at which point he sees one turn towards him, the other turn towards him, the other turn towards him, and they all just lock on to him precisely. They stop fighting amongst each other because they just found the guy who shot them all with a bolt. As they
Now
all
I'm the
rush
bait.
towards the building that Patton was on top of, toppling it, sending Patton flying into the rubble.
Swinging from the grappling hook, doing a bunch of flips before landing.
Yeah. So, Jerron gets... You see that, like, the thing, it goes flash, 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 and then you see a similar, like, puff of, like, an explosion as Jerron gets sent off of this thing as well. It falls clearly, dead. But you see that Jerron's eyes are still glowing red, and he starts, like, looking around, pacing, sort of gnashing, as quickly you see a herd of gnolls, like just a quick pack of them led by that big shaman grab him and grapple up onto one of the roofs. As you see, similarly, you see Patton being dragged away through some of the rubble. You guys can escape in the chaos, but in the next 30 minutes, you see the gnolls quickly assemble and start to herd these things away from the city. But buildings get destroyed, everything just starts falling apart, and you don't actually see where Jerron and Patton go. So we're gonna focus in on Elias and John.
What's the is the connection between us severed?
No, it's still live, and you do see you can get some video feed, right? Mm-hmm. You see, for Patton, he gets knocked out in the force of the building explosion fairly quickly, and so you just see, like, the camera feed from his eyes of him being dragged into some building. You hear some yelling in Gnoll that you don't understand whatsoever. And similarly with Jerron, you see him, like, lashing out, like clawing at things with his hands.
I mean, that doesn't seem
you're
that
completely
much different than what
unconscious.
Jerron's normally like.
Yeah, Jerron and Patton are both completely unconscious for right now. But in all of the hustle, like, you kind of get caught up in a storm of these things and have to take cover.
Mm-hmm.
The streets now being completely unsafe.
Swarmed by hogs.
Well, hogs and the gnolls who are now dealing with the situation.
Right.
And you've got several of them, pointing spears and bows at you, kind of just yelling something at you in Gnoll that pretty obviously translates to "stay here."
Well, that Gnollish won't stop me because I don't understand it.
Right. But they basically just yell at you to not interfere with things while they try and fix stuff real quick.
And you know what? I think I agree with them. They got a handle on this. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell happened back there.
So we'll go with first up Patton. So, Patton, you wake up in the corner of a room. You see one of your what did you call it? The noisemaker. What was the name of it?
Life of me, I could not tell you.
Okay.
Oh, it was like a swine sounder. That's what it was.
Yes. So they've got one of the swine sounder bolts. As you wake up, it's at your feet. You see them several large gnolls in full warrior uniform, and you see the shaman, right?
Mm-hmm.
As he walks up, yells something in Gnoll, and just stomps on the bolt.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks down at you, throws the your little backpack that clearly they went through.
There's a lot to go through in there. Holy cow!
And just points to the door.
All right, so this was a communication issue. I'm going to try and explain
what we have
it to
here
him.
Is a failure to communicate.
I'm going to try and explain that we did not intend for things to go this badly.
Okay.
Can I roll diplomacy on that?
Sure.
All right, I got a 3 in diplomacy. I hope I roll a 1.
Patton rolls to diplomatize Knowles.
12 in total.
12 in total? So you try to start explaining this, I'm assuming in common?
Yeah. I'm using a lot of gestures and hand motions.
Yeah, they look around at you, and
like I point at the swine sounder. I'm like, running like, no, miming the words "oopsie."
Good.
Patton
So
made an
one
oopsie.
of them, they start yelling amongst themselves. One of them yells what is pretty obviously a name, and a sort of a scrawny, more well-dressed gnoll, wearing like, actual pants,
Mm-hmm.
comes in and in fairly broken common just says, "Don't explain, leave."
I will do that. I'm gonna grab my stuff and the pieces of my swine sounder because I need that.
Yeah, I can't really do like what it would sound like, but it's more like if a dog was barking those words,
Mm-hmm.
kind of hard to make out, but they got their guy to just tell you get out.
Okay, we're gonna do that. Well, there is a bit of an issue. Our transportation is completely due to things outside of my control. It's not going to be taking us out of here anytime soon. We need to get this fixed before we can go anywhere.
That's true. It doesn't look like they're explicitly running you out of the entire city, but they're basically just saying fuck off.
Yeah, why the fuck were we stuck here with these hogs?
Because
That's not
Patton
important
fucked up.
right now. I'm going to actually try and ask them for help because we didn't get everything that we needed for the car.
This is true.
So
So
I'm going to
you're
try
gonna-
once more to explain that, like, we are more than happy to leave. We just need some help, and then we'll be out of your hair forever.
Okay, so you say that, and once again in this like barked, broken common.
Yeah, like
We
I'm
did
walking my
help.
fingers and then boom, move them really fast out of here.
We did help. This happened.
I am not a master in it's good. It's a communication issue. I'm very sorry that we messed up the pig portal.
They're
Uh,
just pointing spears at you at this point.
Patton,
And
ask the
pointing
AI
through
to
the door.
translate.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Elias.
That wasn't... Elias would not think of that. That's just
Yeah.
me
Oh, you would
thinking
not.
of
Okay.
this.
So if you're going to try to do that, you're just going to get a. If you ask your
Clippy
new
shows up.
friend-
Were you trying to translate null? Do you need help?
It says yes or it says no, but it's spelled GNO.
Yeah, the answer is no.
No.
I'm going to message Patton here.
All right.
You might want to thank him and leave.
I'm going to give him a big bow as I kind of like step backwards out of the room, and hope they don't stab me when I turn around to leave.
Yeah, so as you walk out, you see sort of laid out on various mini stretchers and the like. You can see there's definitely a lot of them that are wounded from the struggle, that they're patching up, and everybody is giving you like the absolute, stink eye.
Did they already take my medical supplies out of the bag, I'm assuming?
Yeah, they grabbed some of the ones that they understood were actual medicine.
So very few.
Very few, but you do see like some of the salves being put onto like broken knoll arms and the like.
Yeah, I hope they don't see the Knoll Nasher I had in there when we first came into town that I was hoping I might not have to use. If they did, they probably didn't know what it was. It was basically just a
Probably.
grenade covered in blades.
Yeah.
That has several different names scribbled on it and then scratched out when you need to use it on something else.
I'm gonna leave. As I'm gonna go, as like kind of walking out, I'm gonna leave a few more bottles, a few more things, just like next to any of these. Like, here, this is good. I don't know if they're gonna use it, but I'm gonna offer it to them. I don't know if they still trust me, but I'm gonna leave them.
If you
some
put them
more
down,
things.
they're going to grab it, but they are not going to thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm just gonna leave now. I've done as much as I can. I don't want to risk getting stabbed.
Yeah, so, Jerron. When you come to, you're not in a good place.
Like mentally or physically?
Both.
Yes.
Oh,
Have you ever been in like one of those situations where you're in like you're in one of those dreams where you're like fighting somebody, but you don't really know why, and then you wake up and you're angry?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that.
And Jerry, while he was sleeping, had a pretty big revelation. So he has kind of a reason to be like resentful and angry.
Your arms are tied as you see your friends walk into the room. You're sort of just wrapped up entirely in rope. There are a couple of gnolls around you, and you have the visceral feeling that you need to fight these people, the gnolls specifically.
Yes.
Jerry is
Like
now
just
part
a visceral urge. So yeah, you guys walk in, you see Jerron's kind of like wriggling on the ground, frothing at the mouth.
Let me at him.
So he had too much to drink again.
Yeah.
This is like a typical afternoon for Jerry.
Punch in the air, kicking his legs out.
Yeah, one of them one of the gnolls grabs the like bundle of rope on his back and just throws him to you guys physically.
I guess we'll just take him.
Yeah,
he's got to calm down.
I'll take him.
If it isn't my beloved associates.
John catches him and they usher you out of the door to this ruined building and slam it in your face.
Jerry, we don't really have time for this. We kind of gotta get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. Hey, John.
Jerry?
I had a question for you. Are you gonna give up the hero act anytime soon?
You gonna stop needing me to play the hero anytime soon?
Well, really, you're just as selfish as I am when I really think about it.
Can we save the grandstanding and discussion for later when there's not as many hogs around, and maybe when we're out of here, we're sort of on a time crunch.
Speaking of being on a time crunch, hey, would you look at that garage that you guys had your car in?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to dig your car out of that.
It's just a bunch of fucking hogs.
There's just a lot of rubble.
You good to walk,
this
Jerry?
This added a lot more time to the repair.
Yeah, I can walk. All
right. At least we can clear the rubble off pretty easily just by banging on the front. The car will launch it all up in the air.
Patton?
So yeah, here's where you guys are. As a direct result of Patton attempting to put some sick hydraulics on your ride, and then you guys, not waking Jerron up to deal with the situation at hand and misinterpreting a helpful protection sigil as a horrible summoning circle, you're now in the hole for way more time than before.
I blame Jerry for this.
Is that in character?
No.
Okay.
just as a matter of course.
So, who's getting to work digging the car out?
I would assume all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different levels of angry as we move the rocks. Like Jerry's chucking them pretty far behind him. Patton's digging it out there with his with little bro, and then just kind of scooping him out away from the car.
Specky picks up little bits of rubble, much smaller than everyone else's, but Specky is helping.
I mean, really, we haven't been thinking a whole lot about that fight that we just had on the highway, Those were congregation members, right?
There's some weird stuff going on here.
John, who's the one person we haven't talked to since we left Little Rock?
I mean, I haven't seen a lot of people.
Who's the one person that you have shown that you care more than anybody about? That you will go to any lengths to save?
Oh,
who you've shown as a bargaining chip?
Where are you going with this?
Well, the way I see it, and this might just be bad news for you, John. I think Elias might have thought about it, but your grandfather is either being held captive or he's selling us out.
Well, there's no way he's selling us out.
We know he doesn't like red. We know he doesn't like red, and I'm pretty sure he saw Michael's broadcast. I don't know if he had any connection to Abaddon, but
So you're saying we should go back to help him? Because I don't know if we have time for that, really.
That's a trap, John. I'm saying you need to be ready for this to get a whole lot worse before it gets better.
I don't know. I don't think Lazarus would do that to us. He seems like a real stand-up guy.
So then he's being held captive in that case. Well,
not
actually,
necessarily.
is he a stand-up guy?
Yeah, obviously.
You know,
Well,
Well, he did seem pretty good.
did he not murder 2 people in cold blood?
Okay. Why don't you stop now?
Why, John?
Had your fun.
How about we call him?
I don't think
Does
he
he
Are we
have a
able to
radio?
do that?
I think I don't know if it'll reach him all the way out here.
Yeah, I
Jerry.
imagine if
I
I knew I could have contacted him, I would have done that a couple of times.
If you can find one of your radios that's you know a lot of this rubble.
Yeah, we could try it, Jerry. If you're so hung up on this, yeah.
Well, I don't want him to be someone that's working against us, but I feel like
Well,
Michael had
you're in
pretty
luck
quick
then,
access
Jerry.
to Little Rock. So you prefer him to be in danger then?
I don't
Okay.
prefer nothing.
Good.
I hope he's perfectly fine. You're the one coming up with this, what do you call it, Elias?
Strange series of conjecture.
False dichotomy?
That is true. Yes.
That's a big word.
Well, does it make sense
Not
for
really.
one
no.
singular broadcast to conjure up an army bigger than any force we could have imagined?
Well, considering the way this mana thing seems to work, and the general, no offense intended, John, impressionableness of some of the rock's dwellers, seems rather convincing. It was sent out with intent, so that's slightly different than your broadcasts, I think.
But it doesn't make sense.
I think
We've
it
shown
doesn't
them
make
to
sense
be
to you.
Elias. We put on TV them lighting that house on fire with the steel drivers, and the steel drivers, when they were with us on the show, did not
Jerry,
come off.
We sent that out without any particular message in mind, other than this is what happened. We left the making up of the mind to the viewer. It wasn't propaganda. It was just what we saw.
Why would all the congregation members, if Lazarus is the head of the congregation, why would they all just immediately flip to Michael?
The whole problem here
Well,
is
they
that
didn't-
Michael's real convincing.
Well, not only that, but Lazarus isn't exactly the head so much as the presumed figure. He's the patriarch, as it were.
Would he
doesn't
not
really-
have intervened?
He doesn't control them.
It's
Michael
not like he has any
seems
sort of
to-
power.
Yeah,
People
it's
just look
not
up
so
to him.
much like it's less of a cult and more of a religion, Jerry. But I mean, I think it's worth seeing if we can contact him. I mean, what are we gonna lose? But a few more, few minutes looking for the radio. But that's about it. We're
We've
already
got enough time.
a little bit behind. I think it's worthwhile to check it. So I guess if Elias and John here, if you want to keep digging the car out while me and Jerry look for this real quick, we'll we might as well check this avenue just in case.
All right.
I suppose, but we really do need to get a move on, and I don't think this is going to be a fruitful endeavor.
All right, so come on, Jerry, let's look for this real quick.
All right.
Okay, so you're going to pull out the radio, and yeah, you do have like his frequency there that you have access to.
All right, let's press select. Pull it up.
Yeah. You give it a ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to hear a little Nah. No more distractions. We both know where we're going. Click.
Ah,
Uh-oh.
not a fruitful endeavor, huh, Elias?
Well, not really, considering that doesn't actually give us any information.
Yeah, is he there? Does he have him, or was that intercepted? It's hard to tell.
You genuinely can't tell.
Either way, I am now a bit more nervous, and I think we really should get on the move as soon as we can. And I guess start digging the car out at a hastened pace there.
And then we'll
briskly.
Then we'll get back to fixing the original damage and also the damage from all the rubble. Maybe we'll eventually get back on the road.
Yeah, so we can do a little time lapse here,
True.
but you're gonna have to deal with another night, very tense. You do get some incursions from some of these hogs. You see, you get another building set up with the car in it, but you just hear scratching and really don't get a particularly good night's sleep. You all can get a full rest, but
Can I have an aside with our human friend?
sure,
All right.
at some point. When would you like this to be? Maybe during your watch?
Yeah. I was gonna kind of click the USB.
Huh?
I don't know why people keep saying
why
USB.
do you say USB? It's
Or
not USB.
fucking auto dock port thing.
Jerry's not the tech guy.
Yeah, you don't click nothing.
Jerry's like a fucking grandpa. Everything's a USB. Everything's a Nintendo.
I hand wave it. But anyway, I call her up.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry
You
about
see the head pokes up from the through the little hatch
Mhm.
onto the roof. She climbs up. Yeah?
I'm sorry about the hostilities, but it's been a rough 2 days for me. I don't know if I asked you this prior, but this Lazarus guy, were you around for? Would you know anything of him?
She's going to look at you, cock her head, look at you like, are you stupid?
I mean, maybe. I am kind of got hog blood running through me right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she's going to look at the ground. You're right that I'm not here, but I am somewhere.
Warning.
Like I said,
Dagner.
we're trapped.
If Elias was listening to this, there would be all sorts of screaming klaxon bells going off. Am I cut off from this? Can I not? I'm asleep, right?
You're asleep. Yeah.
Fuck.
Where are you trapped? We can. If you have. Hey, this isn't character, so.
I know, Michael's freaking out. I love it. But
because this is a thing that you don't know. This is a thing. You're doing a thing, and I know what the thing that you're doing is, Daniel.
What's the thing?
Stop it.
yes.
I can't.
Well, it's a good
tell
thing that
you.
Elias is asleep right now, isn't it?
Well, no, Elias wouldn't know what this particular thing is, but I know what
Yeah.
Daniel's doing.
This is my least favorite part of D&D.
I can't help it.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
Look, they might be listening, so all I can tell you is there's two groups of us. You've already met both, but we're trapped, they aren't. They're walking around, and they have a lot to gain from that big dragon friend of yours dying.
Does this mean that Michael's being influenced by someone else?
I don't know, but I hope not.
I'm losing it.
If you can help us, then we can help you.
I mean, they kind
He's
of
gonna-
they've been helping us.
She's gonna nod her head, and trying to think of the way that I want to word this. The other ones are watching, and they're closer than you think. Be careful.
Okay, on that, I'm gonna roll perception.
Yeah, and on that she's going to
shouldn't that be
jump back
insight?
down.
Oh, insight. Yeah.
She's going to jump back down into the building, and sort of vanish as a result.
Okay. So would you want that to
She's gonna
be?
jump off the roof. Yeah, that's insight.
Okay.
If you're trying to figure out what that means.
And now, just to make sure, now would all of us have access to this in the morning if we wanted? Like if Jerry told us about it, or we had a reason to look back?
That's a
No,
7.
actually,
Okay.
not unless he shares it.
Yeah. Like it's not a normal thing to just like play back. You know,
Yeah,
like,
no.
oh, well, I wonder what everyone saw in
You
their
haven't-
dreams. Unless Pat's
you-
a fucking freak.
You have access to what each other wants to share.
Okay.
Meaning, when you were connecting for the skills challenge, you had all that stuff up for ease of communication, but for day to day, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So 7 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have absolutely no idea what that means. The only thing that I'll give you, just in general, is that it seems like she's being cryptic, but it doesn't, like something that any idiot could tell from the facial expressions, because you can't describe them really, is that every time she says something weird, she kind of looks around and whispers it. Like she's scared of it being found out.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm just gonna replay the Lazarus sermon and then end my watch.
Okay. So, morning. We'll skip ahead to Patton gets the car working. You know, the give it some gas.
Yeah. Patton was irresponsible with his watches too, where he was pretty much just working on the car.
Yeah. So yeah, you managed to get it running. You shout out to whoever's behind the wheel to give it some gas as you turn it over, and it roars to life finally. Dented, kind of beat up, but running.
All right. Finally, after a little bit too long, about 2 days, we're ready to go. Now, I guess while we're doing this, the other 3 guys could be going out, gathering any supplies that we were low of to get us back up to normal levels before
Yeah,
we
I got
leave.
us, extra mana producing plants and all that noise.
Food, water, all that nonsense.
Oh yeah, I guess we need that too.
Yeah, there's plenty of it around if you like hog.
Well, as we're leaving the city in the car, fellas, I guess we took a wrong turn there in Albuquerque.
You piece of shit.
It's happening.
All of this was a setup for that joke. The entire thing.
2 episodes. He's been waiting
Yep.
for that. 2 episodes.
Frittata. All right, then. So I'll go ahead and I'll do the end plugs for everyone, because I'm efficient at it. So that was Revival, a Dungeons & Dragons real play podcast, episode 60. You can find the podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, and Spotify, because I got it on Spotify now. Twitter, let me tell you, PD. Discord in the description, Patreon in the description. Dan and Michael do streams. Got a link there. Bro Operatives. Matt has a sportsball podcast called The Sweet Life of Matt and Kody, also in the description. I think that's everything. I do want to say, because the other ones have stopped recording, so they can't respond to it, that there is in fact a pig-themed Homestuck like AU that was very popular. And that's all I was thinking of this entire time. Michael is very mad hearing this. And that brings me immense pleasure. Alright, I'm going to end the episode now.